Hey guys, what's up? I'm back. Mock draft 9.0, I think. Man, we are really getting up there. And we are getting close to the draft. 3 weeks until the draft. Less than 3 weeks. I think the draft starts, the 23rd? It is the 6th when I'm recording this. This is going up the 7th. So we are very close. Coming up this week, I know I said it last week that I was going to do a first round mock draft for all 32 teams. Well, not all 32 teams because not every team has a first round pick, but a first round mock for every team in the first. I didn't end up doing that. I did put up another video a couple days ago, so check that out if you haven't yet. But yeah, this week and going forward every week, I'm gonna have, which will be for 3 weeks, I'm gonna have a mock draft for a first round mock for all the teams. I think going forward, maybe this week, I'm probably just going to do a first round mock. And then the following week, I'm going to do a 3-round mock. And then the week of the draft, I'm going to do a 7-round mock draft for every single team. I'm really looking forward to that. I've been doing a lot of work on just research for a lot of teams since I am kind of winding down on draft prospects. So now I'm really focused on the other teams and what their needs might be. So if that is interesting to you guys, then make sure to stay tuned for that. But for right now, this is a Seahawks mock, and we're going to focus on Seahawks. And this is going to be a little bit different from all my other ones, aside from my 1.0, which I did do a Crosby trade. This one, today, as I'm recording this, today, Dexter Lawrence has requested a trade from the Giants. It's believed that they won't trade him, but it was said that the value would be a late first or an early second. And so I'm going to do 3 mock drafts today. One will be my ideal. One will be my predictive. And then the third, well, actually, I think we're going to do it first, is going to be a Quinnen Williams mock trade. So we're going to do that one here. This first one here, we're going to go to the Giants. We're going to grab Dexter Lawrence here for pick 32. Now, some people might say, we don't need to give up a high pick for Dexter Lawrence. We don't need Dexter Lawrence. I disagree heavily. Dexter Lawrence is probably the best nose tackle in the league. Not even probably. He is the best nose tackle in the league. And looking at who we can get at 32, there is not a single player that we could get at 32 that would be better than Dexter Lawrence, especially not year one. And so this is tremendous value for us. Look at that defensive line. Dexter Lawrence at nose tackle. Byron Murphy is fully freed up to play 3 tech. And we have Leo there. That is a killer defensive line. And we know that John was interested. John wanted Dexter Lawrence in the draft, and he got sniped. So we weren't able to get Dexter Lawrence. And we know he's had his eyes on Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence was at our divisional playoff game. So yeah, I absolutely think that we are going to be looking into Dexter Lawrence, and this is very cheap. When the news first broke, I was thinking give him 32.96 and a player, but it seems like it's a late first, early second. 32, if that'll get it done, I'm absolutely doing that. Give them 32 for Dexter Lawrence, and let's hop into this. Defensive interior is secure for a while. And the thing is now, we don't have to panic. If Jaron Reed and Leonard Williams retires, or just walks, we don't really have to panic because we will have Dexter Lawrence. Because if we trade for him, we're going to have to sign him to an extension, and then we'll have him and Murphy for a long time. Now here at 64, a couple routes I could go. Derek Moore is probably best player available here. I really, really don't think that he's going to be there at 64. I think it is a semi-unrealistic pick, but he is on the board. It is possible. It's not outlandish. He's not like a first-round pick consensus that's has no chance of being there at 64. And we see players fall every single year. Will Johnson, I had him as my top player in the class, and he fell to the mid to late second round. So players fall that have no business falling. Derek Moore could fall. I don't see why he would, but he could fall. Igbinosun is a nice player here. If we're gonna take a corner, then I would like to be a little bit better of a scheme fit. Honestly, I don't know how Igbinosun is in terms of the zone scheme. I think he's a better man corner, but I think he could develop into a fit. Mike Washington at 64, it's a possibility. I'm not a big Mike Washington guy. The fumbles are a concern for me. Because I mentioned it in my video a couple days ago. I mean, Mike McDonald. His mentality is kind of like, my defense is going to go out there and win the game. So my offense I don't need my offense to go out and win the game every week. I just need them to not lose the game. And we saw it with Milroe against the Buccaneers. He lost us that game. If he doesn't fumble, we win that game. Mike Washington could have very similar issues. Those fumbles could lose you a game. And so I don't know if this is a route we're going to go in. Keelan Rutledge is an option. It's a bit early for me just because he did. I mean, I do have him. This is good value on my board. I do have him as a second-round player. But I just don't know. It's tough with me because of the injury that he did sustain. He nearly had his foot amputated about a year and a half ago. That's rough. I think here, I'm going to go best player available. It's going to be Derek Moore here. And look at that defensive line. I mean, we have Derek Moore and that's just incredible. And Dexter Lawrence. That is incredible. Now here at 96, I'm going to look to trade back, maybe acquire some more capital. So we're moving back four spots. I think 166 is too rich. We could get 203 and maybe another pick here. I wonder if we could do 166, give up 188, and then still get 203. How about we do that? So we're going to move up 22 spots from the 6th to the 5th round, and then we're going to acquire 203 as well. That's what we're going to do here with the Jags. And now we're on the board at 100. Let's see what we got here. I might do a double trade back. It's a possibility. Let's see who's on here. Malik Muhammad. Not Zachy Wheatley. I don't love Zachy Wheatley. Malik Muhammad, I like him. The frame is concerning for sure, but he's quite athletic. I think he could be a scheme fit. It's just his frame. I'm not loving him for the Seahawks. I do really like him as a player. I have him as an early third on my board, but just in terms of the fit, I'm not huge on it. I've done it in previous mocks, but I'm not going to do it here. Takario Davis, he's another guy. He's more of a Pete Carroll type corner. I don't know if he's going to necessarily be a scheme fit. You know what I think I'm going to look here is Jalen Kilgore. I think this is about the appropriate range for him. Late third, early fourth. He's very versatile. He could play in the slot and safety. I think year one we would have him as our third safety, or maybe in a rotation with Okada. But if we have an injury with Love or Okada, I think he could step in year one and be sufficient for us. And he can play nickel. So if we wanted to move Emanwari either at safety or outside corner, we would have that flexibility, which is very, very nice. I'm going to take Jalen Kilgore here at 100. And we're going straight defense here to start. And, look at this value. This is tremendous value here. Damon Claiborne at 166. I've talked about him before. He's kind of Kenneth Walker light. He does everything that Kenneth Walker does. He just does them all. Everything he does, he just does it worse than Ken Walker. Except I do think he is a bit better of a pass catcher than Ken Walker. But yeah, he does it worse than K9 with the dancing in the backfield. So that's something that fans would have to get used to. But Damon Claiborne here, I think this is very good value. He's someone that could be in a nice running back group and splitting carries with Emmanuel Wilson and George Halani and Charbonnet once he comes back. I think this is great value for Claiborne, and that's a good pick for me. Now at 203, here, what do we want to address? A need, probably. So we addressed the defensive interior with Dexter Lawrence. We grabbed edge. We grabbed nickel/safety. We grabbed a running back. We could double dip at running back if we wanted to. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think offensive line here, if we are going for need, is probably the best route. And there's someone I do like here is Micah Morris. I feel like we have a lot of guys on our interior offensive line depth, the depth chart that have versatility. Like Mason Richmond, he's a tackle, guard, and center. Probably just a guard and center in the NFL, but he played tackle at Iowa. Bryce Cabledew, he kind of plays both guard spots. Christian Haynes, he's played both guard spots, and we've tried him out at center. So guys like Micah Morris kind of fit what we do. He plays left guard and right guard. And I think he's someone that is a good scheme fit. He's quite fast or quite athletic for his size. I think he's someone that we would like to get in the room. Maybe he competes for a starting job. I don't want to say that because he's a late day 3 pick for a reason. But this is a player that I do like. I think he has a solid floor to at least being an okay backup in the NFL. And in the 6th round, if you can get 4 years of a decent backup at guard, that's a really good pick. I'm going to go with Micah Morris here. And that is this draft here. We are able to get Dexter Lawrence on this defensive line. Unbelievable. Derek Moore would be our 3rd edge in a rotation. Maybe DeMarcus Lawrence takes a step. I feel like he has to take a step back because he's older. Maybe Derek Moore goes into that 2nd edge role. Jalen Kilgore would be our 3rd safety and a backup nickel. Damon Claiborne probably would be our RB2 or 3, but he would be in a nice group there splitting carries. And Micah Morris would be just a backup guard. Maybe you once Bradford, if we don't retain Bradford because he is a free agent next year, maybe Micah Morris competes for that starting job next year. All right, now going forward, this here is going to be my ideal mock. So this is ideally what I want to happen, seeing how the board falls here. So let's look at who's on the board first before we look at any trade back options. We have Denzel Boston here. Not my favorite pick. There are receivers that I would take over him. I don't know if there are any on the board necessarily. Probably not. Chris Bell, if he didn't have the injury concerns, he would be higher than Boston for me. Let's check on my board. Let's see if he is over Boston on my board. So Chris Bell, I would have him higher on my board. Emmanuel Pregnon, this is great value for him. You know, he's someone with a high floor. He's someone I've talked about a lot, but I'd love to keep him at left guard. Moving him to right guard, I think he might be a bit slow for this scheme. And he reminds me of Damian Lewis. I don't want to take someone that's really, really good at left guard and move them to right guard and have them really drop off in efficiency. The guys to talk about here are the same guys that I've talked about in all my previous mocks. Zion Young, nice value here. Brandon Cisse has good value. Chris Johnson, I think, is tremendous value. I'm going to look at a potential trade back. We have the Giants here and the Cincinnati Bengals. What could we get from the Giants? Maybe just 105 straight up. I think that could work. And what do the Bengals have? They have 110 and maybe another pick. If we wanted to move up and then could we swing another pick? We could do that if we wanted to move up. I'm not sure I want to move up that far. I think this is a great pick, trade back here. If we just move back with the Giants, pick up 105, I think that's really nice. So we acquired an extra 4th, and I really don't think Pregnon is going to be here. I don't think he escapes the 1st round. Here, Chris Johnson is a route we could go. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with Dunker here at 37. We improve our right guard spot year 1, I think. And really looking at it, yeah, our running back room is pretty thin, but our scheme is really dependent on having the offensive line rather than having the running backs. So if we get Dunker, our offensive line is set for the foreseeable future. Of course, Sundell, we'll probably have to pay him in a couple years. But that's really nice. We have Cross and Lucas as our bookends, Zabel at left guard, Sundell at center, who's going to take steps up because he was a very raw prospect coming out of college, and Dunker at right guard. Wow, I think that's unbelievable. I'm going to go with Dunker here, and we have a complete offensive line. And look at that. Oh, my goodness. Wow. This is like, do I want to trade up here and take someone else? Like, holy mother of God. This is like so many guys here that I like. Traden Stukes, I love. He's someone that is like so versatile. He can play, I think, not a lot of people think he could play boundary corner. I think he could if you wanted him to, but he plays in the nickel. He can play safety. He's a better Jalen Kilgore, I think. I really, really like Traden Stukes. I have a second round grade on him. Jadarian Price here is very good value as well. Like, I almost want to trade up and see who we can get here. Like, do we trade up to 66? And because I don't want to trade up with the Cardinals. Do we trade up to 66? Is there a possibility? What would it take to move up to 66? 105 isn't doing it. A future third. Do I want to move? Think about our third round pick next year. Our third round pick next year is probably going to be a late third round pick, so in the late 80s or the 90s. Next year's class is better, but looking at this, I think who I'm going to take with my first pick is Jadarian Price, because if we have our complete offensive line and Jadarian Price, that run game is going to be really, really good. So Jadarian Price is going to be my pick here. I'm not going to select him yet because this is turbo mode, so I won't be able to pause it in time. And then who do I think goes off the board here to Arizona? Who did Arizona take? They took Ty Simpson, interesting. And they took Arvell Reese. Okay, so their pick here, this is interesting. Their pick here would probably be, man, I don't know. Would it be, I mean, maybe, I don't know if they would take corner is the thing. I don't know if they would take a corner. Like, maybe they'd take, like, Dominique Orange. So, like, I'm wondering if, like, one of these guys would even go off. Because ideally, we trade up for Stukes. I think Stukes is a tremendous player. I think giving up a future third is good enough value to move up for Stukes. I think he is good enough. And otherwise, I would go with Derek Moore. He's one of the top edges in this class in terms of contributing year one. And that's rare that you can find that. I'm going to move up here. I'm going to do a move up because I know Moore or, not 64. I know Moore or Stukes will be on the board. Do we throw in another pick? So maybe a future. All right, look at this. So a future third and a sixth, and this is fine giving up this future capital because let's say the third is in the low 90s next year. We're getting a fourth round comp pick and 3/5, I believe. So like we're good. We will have a first, a second, 2/4, 4/5, not the sixth because I'm giving this up, and a seventh. Like, that is great. If we wanted to move up into the third round next year, we have the capital. We have 2/4 and 4 fifth rounders. So giving up the future capital is not necessarily that bad. We give it up to Tennessee. Tennessee is in a rebuild. And we're able to take Jadarian Price here, who goes off the board. Derek Moore went off. That's fine. That's fine because I wanted Traden Stukes. Traden Stukes, he comes in. He is immediately our third. Honestly, I think he might beat Okada for a starting safety role. I think he is that good. But he is a developmental guy. I think he's so versatile. He fits what we do. He has that mentality. Man, I love trade in Stukes so much. I think he could play on the boundary. I do, so I think he could be our third corner if we wanted him to be. Or if we absolutely needed it, we could put him in nickel and then have Imanwari on the boundary if there was an injury or something. I'm going to go trade in Stukes here. This is such good value for me. Wow. This might be my favorite draft I've ever done so far. Wow. All right, 105, we're on the board here. Where do we go here? Do we go maybe edge? Maybe Mikhail Kamara is the best edge to do here. He is a big-bodied guy. I don't want to say he's a power edge, but he is a big-bodied guy. He could fit that role if we wanted him to. And I've taken him quite a few times. I think Mikhail Kamara is probably my best player here, aside from Bud Clark, but we already took a safety prospect here. So Mikhail Kamara is a good option. I do like Brian Parker, but we took Dunker, so that's not a route I'm going to look. And everyone else is just, I don't have the right value here for me. So here, I'm going to go with Mikhail Kamara. He's someone that would be our third or fourth edge. It looks like we're going to keep Nwosu. We came out and said that we're going to keep him on the books. Of course, that could be smoke and mirrors. We don't know. But Mikhail Kamara would be our third or fourth, and he's someone that we could develop a little bit. He's not going to, I don't think he contribute too much year one. But he is someone that going forward I think could be a solid rotational edge for us. All right. Now, final pick here at 188. Where do we go? Here's where we kind of would address need. We took edge, we took corner / safety. I might take corner again because Stukes is like primarily a nickel / safety guy. So I might look at corner again. Jaden Kennedy, he is a nickel, and I also don't like him. I don't like Jaden Kennedy one bit. I have him as a 7th round player. I actually, where is he on my board? Let's check on this. I think I dropped him quite a bit because I dropped him to late 7th on my board. I'm really not a fan of Jaden Kennedy. He's not my favorite player. Andre Fuller is someone I do really like. He's someone I have talked about a lot. Let's go back to my board here, and I have him pretty high. I have him as a mid to late 4th round pick here. He's got unbelievable. I keep going to this page accidentally. He's got, just tremendous frame. He has really good upside because he was at that smaller school. He has really, really good upside, tremendous frame. He shows a lot of effort against the run, which is nice. I'm going to go with Andre Fuller here. He would be with, sitting next to Pritchett on our depth chart, but someone that we could develop and could eventually maybe become a solid player. This might be my favorite draft that I've ever done. Jennings Dunker would be our right guard, most likely, and would be our right guard of the future. Jadarian Price here would be our top back. This is such good value here. We moved up, gave up some future capital for trade in Stukes. Would be our backup nickel or probably our starting safety. I think Okada, because since we're paying him very little, we might be okay with keeping him as our third safety. Mikhail Kamara would be probably our 4th edge this year in a rotation, and I'm all right with that. Actually, I'm happy with that if he's our 4th edge. I think he could be a solid rotational guy going forward. And Andre Fuller would be just a developmental depth piece, but could turn into a solid player. Now, I'm going to go with predictive. This is what I think John is going to do, what I think the scouts, what I think the staff is going to do here. And here we are at 32. Now, looking at the board, I think this is a spot that we would love to trade back. And I might do a very similar trade back to the one I did with the Giants. They're not interested in trading. So you know what we're going to do here is we're going to reload the page. We're going to reload the page. I hate when they don't give me any trade offers. So now, because really, is there anyone we're going to jump on here? Like Chris Johnson, Brandon Cisse, Zion Young. These are guys I like. We did have a top 30 visit with Zion Young, I will say that. So maybe he's someone we would like at 32. But remember, we had a top 30 visit with Jalen Carter, and then it was said after the draft that he wasn't even on our board at all. Like we didn't have him on our board as a draftable prospect because of the personality and off the field concerns. So it's possible with Zion Young, we could be meeting with him to try to sort out those off field concerns. And maybe it's a Jalen Carter situation where we do not like what we see and we go elsewhere. That's a possibility. But I'm going to look to do our trade back, and look, the Giants right here, I'm going to do the same trade that I did in the other one, and that keeps things kind of fair. Now here at 37, I will go Zion Young. I know I just did that whole spiel, but Zion Young, Colton Hood here is incredible value. But I'm going to go with Zion Young. I think on our board, we're going to be looking for this power edge. He reminds me a lot of Dexter Lawrence, so I think this is absolutely a route that we're going to want to go in. 64, Jadarian Price is on the board again, man. That's absurd. That's absurd. I really don't think he's going to be on the board, but if he is on the board at 64, I think we go best player available, and I think Jadarian Price is the pick. I hate to do it in 2 mocks in a row, but we go BPA here, and this is BPA. This is best player available. We have a need at running back for sure. He would be our top guy, and I don't think we would expect him to fall here. I don't think he will fall here. But if he's here, we have to jump on it. What are the chances he falls here in 2 mocks in a row? Yeah, I think this is the route we have to go. He would be our top running back, at least for this year. Maybe we draft someone next year, but John also has a history of drafting running backs in the second round, and both of them worked out with K9 and Charbonnet. So we're going to go with Jadarian Price here. That's really nice value. 96. Let's see who's on the board here. Who would we go with? Jake Slaughter. I don't think we're going to go center. We really like Sendell, so I don't think that's a route we're going to go in. Ted Hurst is really nice value here, but I don't think we go receiver. We're probably not going to double dip at running back. If we do double dip, it would be probably a day 3 pick here. So, man, I feel like I don't like Zachy Wheatley. He has issues. I'm not a Zachy Wheatley guy. He's elite in coverage. That's the thing. He's so good in coverage, but he's such a bad tackler, and he's so bad against the run that's why I have him drop to the 5th round. But he is such a good coverage player. We could really value that. So that could be an option for us. Man, this is tough. This is really tough. I think here, if we're going... This is tough. The board just did not fall in a way I would have liked. You know what? I think I'm gonna do that. It's not a pick that I love personally, but I think it's something that we could like. We don't really have a third. We don't. Not really. We don't at all have a third safety going forward. Look at our safety room. Every single safety on our roster, aside from Julian Love, is a free agent next year. Okada, we probably retain him, but Rodney Thomas, free agent. D'Anthony Bell, free agent. The other guy, who was the other guy we brought in? Man, it's we brought in so many safeties, I cannot keep track. But yeah, we have AJ Finley, the guy we brought back. A lot of guys on 1-year deals. Zachy Wheatley, he's a great cover guy. I think he could improve against the run, and especially in this system, he's got the frame for it. He's 6'2". But he's got the frame for it. I think he could improve against the run. So, and he doesn't have to play year 1. Unless there's an injury, which obviously you hope there wouldn't be. But D'Anthony Bell did get some snaps on defense last year. So we do have guys that have played in this system before in meaningful game time. So Zachy Wheatley, he wouldn't have the world on his shoulders if he did have to come in. I'm going to go with Zachy Wheatley here. Very, very elite coverage player. and I think we could maybe get it cleaned up a little bit against the run, just so he's not a liability. But I think he would be playing mostly deep, so it's not something that is, terrible that would lose you games. And again, we're going predictive here, so let's see what would we do here. This could be another best player available spot. Could also be a spot. I mean, do we look to corner? Do we look to double dip? Maybe we've gotten into the fourth round now. Let's see, what's the trade back option? 117 with the Raiders. What could we get if we do another trade back? Because we know John likes to trade back a couple times in the draft. He always does this. 134 is too rich. 175 is a possibility. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. We're not going to get another pick. That's just ridiculous. So I'm going to do 105 back to 117. We're going to pick up 175, a compensatory fifth-round pick, and let's move back. And the guy that I wanted is still going to be here on the board. I'm going to go with Charles Demings. This is a guy that I have not really talked about. Small school guy. You know what? Do I go Charles Demings or do I go with Hezekiah Masses? Ooh, this is interesting. I might try Hezekiah Masses here. There are a lot of corners that I like at this spot. Tacario Davis I really like. I don't know if we're going to look at him because he is not a huge scheme fit. Julian Neal is someone I really, really like as a developmental guy. And I think he's someone we would like as well. I'm not a big fan of Thaddeus Dixon. This is a bit early for Charles Demings for me, but I'm trying to be predictive here and see where we can go. I think Hezekiah Masses, Hezekiah Masses might be a route we go in. He is so good in zone coverage. So he is a great scheme fit. What other positions could we look at here? Defensive interior maybe. Damani Capehart is really nice value here to be in that nose tackle role. But I've been talking about nose tackle for years, and we never go after it in the draft. We just never do it. Offensive line could be a route we go. You know what? Cage Casey at this point. If we want to take Cage Casey and this is such good value for him. We don't need a tackle, but going forward, we have Josh Jones for 1 year. We do have Amari Kite. Cage Casey could be our long-term backup tackle. We could move him to guard and try him out there. He has the size for it, I think. And he is just such a good athlete. He is such a good athlete. Wow. This is a possibility. This is really good value here for him. Brian Parker as well, someone we could try at right guard and center. I don't think we're going to go in that route. I don't really think we would, but it is such good value. You know what? I'm going to go with corner. Ephesians Prysock is fun too, but again, these Washington guys are guys that aren't really great scheme fits. I'm going to go with Hezekiah Masses here. Might seem a bit early for some people. I have Masses pretty high. I have him in the fifth round. I really like him, dude. He's so good in zone, and he's really good against the run. In the run and screen games, if you keep him close to the line of scrimmage, he can really wreck plays. His biggest issues are in man coverage, and we are a zone scheme. I'm going to go with Hezekiah Masses here. I think his game is one that we will really, really like. Now at 175, where do we go here? Caleb Alarms Orr is really nice value. He's got great size. He's very athletic. So he's not an anchor in coverage, which is great. I do like Trey Moore a bit better, but he has the coverage issues, and he is half edge, half linebacker. It's weird, his game. I'm not a big fan of it. Here, Jeff Caldwell is fun because he's so fast, and he's got great size. But looking at his tape, he's not a receiver. He's just he's like Dante Thornton. He's like one of those guys he's worse than Dante Thornton. He's one of those guys that's really fast, but he's not a true receiver. Drew Shelton here. That's a route we can go on. He has the size. I think we could move him inside. I think he's someone that is going to move inside. I think he could put on some weight and shift to that, guard spot if we want him. But, we don't need more of these depth guards that probably aren't going to do anything. Let's see who's available at receiver here. That could be a surprising route we go, and I don't think it's anyone we'd like here at this point. 175. This is a tough one. We could double dip a corner. I think I'm going to go with linebacker. Caleb Alarms-Orr is such good value here. He's really good against the run. We do only have Surratt for another year, and Caleb Alarms-Orr, we could keep 5 linebackers on the roster. I'm going to go with Caleb Alarms-Orr here. Good depth piece. I think he would be a solid backup. Now at 188, I think I might go, this is kind of need and BPA. Pat Coogan here, he's a developmental guy. He has the versatility to play guard. He's done it before. So if we needed him, he could go over to one of the guard spots. But Olu is a free agent next year. Sundell we have 2 years left of Sundell, but Coogan is a developmental guy, so he is someone that we could have as our backup and could, if we needed him to, I think he could step up and play a couple games, and I don't think he would be a huge liability. I'm going to go with Pat Coogan here. Gives us some depth at center and helps with Olu moving on next year. So this is my predictive draft here. Zion Young, with our first pick, he would be our second or third edge here. Really nice to develop him behind DeMarcus Lawrence. He reminds me so much of DeMarcus Lawrence and Derek Hall. He's very similar, so it's nice we keep that type of player in our room. Jadarian Price would be our top back. Zachy Wheatley would be our third safety. He wouldn't have to come in too much, and it would give him time to get his run defense a bit cleaned up. Hezekiah Masses, he would be probably our third, maybe our fourth corner, because Pritchett did have good flashes last year. But Hezekiah Masses, he is really good in zone. He shows a lot of effort against the run. Needs to get some things cleaned up, especially in man coverage, but I really like his game, and I think we will as well. Caleb Alarms-Orr, Keo, he would be our fourth or our fifth linebacker. But Tyrese Knight has been talked about in a lot of trade packages, so if we wanted to move off of Knight, Caleb Alarms-Orr is someone I think could be a solid backup in this league. I really like his game. Really good against the run. Really nice in coverage. I mean, all around, he's just a solid player. And Pat Coogan would be a nice backup center. I think he would be solid. I don't think he would cost you games if we needed him to start. And he would be our long-term backup with Olu as a free agent next year. So let me know what you guys thought. Here is my Dexter Lawrence trade draft. Here is my ideal, and here is my predictive. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. Drop a like if you can. It means a lot. Thank you all for the support, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Later.